Good morning, Naval Cadet Martin. Thank you very much for being on time. So how do you think the exercise is going so far?
Good, sir. The cadets really seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yes, I agree. I just received a phone call from our ACO, and she's on her way to visit our site. Now, she'll be visiting all of the sites throughout the day, but she'd like to start with us. So I have a bit of a task for you.
Okay, sir. What would you like me to do?
Okay. Since there are so many BIV sites surrounding us, we need to erect a flagpole so the ACO can see where our site is. Otherwise, it will take her a while to find us. We will put up our core flag. Do you have any questions?
A few questions, sir. What material do I have to work with? Are there any boundaries? And when should the task be completed?
Very well. The material that you will be working with is located in the supply tent. Look for a box labeled Flag Equipment Box. As for the boundaries, do not exceed the camp as indicated on the map.
Understood, sir.
Now, the ACO will be here at noon, so you have from now until then to complete this task. There is a phone located in the HQ, should you need to use it in the event of an emergency. Now, one last thing. As you know, we've had some high winds this week. Therefore, make sure to use two of our stronger cadets as the flagpole is going up initially, and make sure that you have at least 4 lines 90 degrees to each other to ensure the flagpole is stable.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It'll be done by noon.
Thank you very much.
Prior to briefing your subordinates, conduct a mini-time appreciation. This involves judging the amount of time available and allotting a certain amount to each activity that must take place prior to task completion. This involves considering the current time needed for a mini-recce, when the warning order should be delivered to your subordinates, and when the task must be completed. Date and time to complete task. Today at 1200 hours. Date and time to submit plan. Not applicable. Date and time now. 10:25 hours. Prior to briefing your subordinates, conduct a mini reconnaissance. This involves collecting the information that will affect initial planning and the conduct of concurrent activity. A recce is simply the physical and mental efforts of the leader to gather data pertaining to the task. A mini recce should only involve collecting the information which will affect initial planning and the conduct of concurrent activity. It should be kept brief. It will give a rough idea of the material available and problems that may be encountered during the task. It can involve checking maps and taking a quick look at the equipment available, conducting a quick visit to the site, and surveying your group in order to identify any SMEs. Once SMEs are identified, record their names and skills in your plan.
Cadets, on me! Make sure you can see me. I have a few questions in order for us to complete our task. Does anyone here have their first aid?
Almost on our first aid.
Perfect, thank you, Warrant. And does everyone or does anyone know how to tie the clove hitch, the reef knot, and the bowline?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. Carry on for now. I'll get back to you when I need your help. Warrant, see me in the headquarters in 5 minutes. Perfect. Carry on.
A note about mini-time appreciation and recce. Depending on the scope of the assigned task and the nature of the time appreciation, the recce will differ. For straightforward, simple tasks, a time appreciation and recce that goes beyond the level of detail indicated above is not required. For example, if you find out 15 minutes before your lesson is to start that you must switch to the room next door, an immediate check of the new room will tell you if it is suitable. You will also know that you have at least 10 minutes to get everything in place before your class arrives. For more complicated tasks, however, A more detailed time appreciation and recce will be needed. In order to prepare, your subordinates must be given notice of an upcoming task or activity as soon as possible. As a minimum, a warning order should explain the nature of the task, the location and time for the presentation of verbal orders or distribution of written orders, the earliest time for a move or commencement of activities, in other words, no move prior to that time, any administrative preparation or concurrent activity that may be started while the detailed time appreciation and recce are being conducted and orders prepared.
Thank you. Have a seat. Warrant, you'll be my 2IC for this task. This is the warning order. Nature of the task. The ACO is coming to visit the location site at 12 o'clock. A flagpole needs to be raised so the site is visible from all directions of the road. Location and time for orders: 11:10 hours at the supply tent. No move before 11:10 hours. Administrative instructions. You may apply sunscreen and fill your canteens a half hour before the task. For concurrent activities, you should practice tying knots in the supply tent. Practice the reef knot, the bowline, the clove hitch, and the round turn and 2 half hitches. Do you have any questions?
Not this time, no.
Perfect. Carry on.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Greater concern must be given to the detailed time appreciation than the mini appreciation, due to the increase in the number of activities being addressed. Leaders plan the time allocation backwards from successful completion of the task to the present time. A detailed time appreciation should include the time the task is to be completed, the time to inspect the task, the time to start the task, and the time to deliver orders. The following questions will help determine what must be accounted for. How much time remains from now till when the task must be completed? What must be accomplished during that time? For example, detailed recce, planning, orders moves, meals, etc. How much time can be allocated for each activity? What is the logical sequence for task completion, and which of them can be done concurrently? A detailed recce is conducted by the leader and anyone else who has been assigned a key responsibility. This is an opportunity to study the location and resources in depth. Routes are plotted, site setup is mapped out, risks are assessed, safety issues considered, equipment is tested, and orders are checked. Detailed notes should be made. Once the leader has completed steps 1 through 6 of task procedure, a plan must be developed. To develop a plan, the leader has to make a decision on the appropriate course of action that will be used to complete the task. The decision may at times be straightforward, with one simple solution, or there may be times where the solution will not be as apparent and options will have to be assessed by problem solving. In order to determine the best way to accomplish the task and achieve the most desirable outcome, we use logical analysis. Having weighed the advantages and disadvantages of alternate solutions, the leader must choose an option to implement. This must translate into a plan by identifying the major steps, or phases, or logical sequence that must be followed to action the plan and achieve the aim of the task. This involves determining What tasks must be done to accomplish the task? Who will do what jobs? When must the work, including each subordinate phase if applicable, start and finish? Where will the work take place and how to get there, if applicable? How are tasks to be completed? For example, the procedures to follow. Note: make certain that your plan answers all questions that come up during the logical analysis that you conducted. For example, if you are dealing with a fallen tree, your plan must contain further details on how you, as the leader, want the job done. Consider how to remove the tree. What items will be used to remove the tree? Where will you place the tree after, etc. Once these details are confirmed, the plan can be translated into an orders format for delivery to the team. The plan will ultimately be delivered to the team either in verbal or written format. Orders follow a specific sequence of paragraphs that include all the information required to achieve the aim. They also ensure a logical sequence for the presentation of information, thereby reducing the possibility of omissions. The NATO Standard Orders format provides a logical sequence for the presentation of orders, as it simplifies the process while retaining brevity, clarity, and completeness. That logical format is commonly referred to as an operation order.
Face me, I don't want you facing into the wind. Orange Charbonneau is the 2 I see for the task. I'm going to show you where on this map we'll be working during the task. As you can see, we're located here between the 2 tents. Over is the supply tent. This will be the designated area. Across the street is the headquarters. Orders. Situation. The ACO is coming to visit the core location at 12 o'clock noon. Mission. Erect a flagpole, complete with a flag that can be raised or lowered and that can be seen from all directions. Execution, general outline. This task will be completed in 4 phases. Phase 1, move stores to task location. Phase 2, cutting and attaching of the lines. Phase 3, raising and securing the pole. Phase 4, inspection and return of stores. Groupings and taskings. Phase 1. Everyone is to move the stores to the task location. The time will be 11:20. It will be from the supply tent en route to the designated location. Cadet Hargrave and Cadet Carter will carry the flagpole to the site. Cadet Verdon and Cadet Lamoureux will carry the box to the site. All personnel will use safe lifting techniques. Upon arrival, the equipment will be dropped off at the designated location. The black rectangle on the map is where we will set up the flag. Cadet Verdon and Cadet Lamoureux will lash the pulley to the bottom of the pole. Use a clove hitch and a round turn 2 half hitches. Cadet Hargrave and Cadet Carter lash the pulley to the top of the pole. Use a clove hitch and a round turn and 2 half hitches. Cadet Verdon will run the halyard through both pulleys and tie a reef knot at the end. Cadet Bruyère, Farfan, and Gagnon tie the 4 lengths of rope to the pole. They will be used as guy lines. Each of you will tie one end of the rope 2/3 of the way up the pole using the clove hitch. Phase 3. Cadet Lamoureux, Hargrave, and Carter raise flagpole into place. 2 of you will hold the base in place and the other one will walk it up the vertical position. Cadet Gagnon, Bruyère, and Farfan hold the base of the flagpole. Hold the base of the flagpole with your hands while it is being raised. Ensure that it stays upright and balanced. Cadet Gagnon, Bruyère, and Farfan Secure base of flagpole with pegs. Cadets Gagnon and Bruyère will place pegs in a triangle tightly around the base of the pole. Secure by lashing the pole to the stakes. Cadets Lamoureux, Hargrave, Gagnon, and Carter get pegs from the supply box and place pegs for guy lines. You shall position the ropes like an X so they will pull equally on the pole to help remain steady. Cadets Lamoureux, Hargrave, Gagnon, and Carter tie off the guy lines to the pegs. You shall tie off the guy lines using a round turn and 2 half hitches, ensuring that the ropes are taut and the pole is vertical. Cadet Farfan, attach the flag to the halyard. Untie the reef knot and attach the flag to the line using a bowline. Warren Charbonneau, raise the flag. Raise the flag and then tie off the halyard to ensure that the flag stays up. Phase 4, I will inspect the work. I will check that the flag can be raised and lowered, that the guy lines are secure, and that the pole is vertical. Lastly, everyone will return the equipment to stores. We will ensure that all the equipment is back in the box and is carried back safely into the supply tent. Coordinating instructions. Timing of phases. Phase 1 will begin at 11:20. Phase 2 will begin at 11:25. Phase 3 will begin at 11:35. And phase 4 will begin at 11:55. Boundaries. All personnel will stay within the designated area. Rendezvous point. Personnel will meet at the supply tent in case of emergency. Location of personnel throughout the task. Myself and the 2IC will supervise the task in all areas within the map. We will ensure that all work is completed safely. I will supervise the most dangerous tasks and will delegate the 2IC to supervise other concurrent tasks as required while your attention is being centered on other activities. Safety instructions. Safe lifting, cutting, and tool use techniques will be used by all personnel. When raising the flagpole, pay extra attention to ensure safety, as well as when using the mallet. Service support. Emergency procedures and equipment. First aid kit is available, and emergency first aid care will be provided by Warren Charbonneau. Any injuries requiring a higher level of care will be handled following the SOP. Water. Personal canteens may be used. Dress. Cadets will wear combats and their tubes. Transportation. All transportation will be on foot. Environmental protection. Dig only if necessary. Ensure to return the site the way it was found. Required resources. 7 steel tent pegs. 1 spool of 1/2-inch rope. 1 mallet. Paracord. 2 pulleys. 1 core flag. then one 18-foot long flagpole. Command and signals. The chain of command. Corps CO, Captain Cournoyer, located in the HQ 10. OIC of the task, myself, Naval Cadet Martin. The 2IC of the task, Warrant Charbonneau. First Aider, Warrant Charbonneau. 3 blows on a whistle means regroup at the supply tent. Emergency contact numbers, 911 for fire, ambulance, or police. There is a phone located in the headquarters. Are there any questions? Yes.
What knot do I use to tie the pulley to the top of the flagpole again then?
You can use a round turn 2/2 hitches or clove hitch if you prefer. Yes.
Ma'am, what was the knot that we used to tie the guy lines to the middle of the mast?
You will use a round turn and 2/2 hitches.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? No, just to verify, Cadet Farfan, what is your job in phase 2?
I will be tying the guidelines to the flagpole about 2/3 of the way up.
Very good. And Cadet Bruyère, how are the guidelines supposed to be arranged in phase 3?
In an X shape now.
Excellent. Great job listening. Let's get started.
Naval Cadet Martin is supervising the task as it is being completed and ensuring that it is being done correctly. She must make sure to correct the cadets verbally and not physically take over small tasks that are not being done correctly or as instructed, as that will distract her from supervising. She must be cognizant of safety at all times. Although Naval Cadet Martin may direct her 2IC to assist in supervision, she must either personally supervise the task with the greatest potential safety hazards, which in this case is raising the flagpole, or stop the entire task while she concentrates on the high-risk activity and only restart the task when she is prepared to devote her entire attention to it.